Welcome to Every Woman, and we have a special series for you, the other women out there. There are so many different types of women out there, and we want to introduce them to you. And one of our special guests, we have Jennifer Bricker here. And you know, one of the main things that people don't know when they meet you is that you don't have legs. But you would never know it from, you know, just your big personality that you have.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, kind of your career that you've had.
Well, let me start. So I was born without legs. It was just a random birth defect. I was left in the hospital when I was very first born. I spent the first 3 months of my life in a foster home. I was adopted by the most amazing family. Truly, the biggest blessing of my life, I think, was from day one, being adopted into the specific family. They raised me with the can't isn't in my vocabulary mentality. And what that provided was this environment growing up that anything is possible. And that I really had no idea I was different. I had no idea why people told me I was an inspiration. You know, I was doing basketball, softball, volleyball, power tumbling, all against able-bodied athletes. And people would come up to me, "You're such an inspiration." And I would get irritated, in fact, because my friends were doing the same thing. Why weren't they an inspiration? I couldn't figure it out. But, you know, and people ask me, you know, how do you overcome so many obstacles? How do you do all this stuff? How do you not think of yourself as different? And it all stems back to my childhood, the environment that I was raised in. My family literally never focusing or dwelling on anything I couldn't do, but focusing on all the things I could do and how to make the things I wanted to do that everybody else was doing possible for me.
So what you're saying, the real inspiration are your parents.
Absolutely.
Because it takes special people to be able to handle that situation and just, you know, empower someone so much.
Absolutely.
Like
I mean, the fact that they had no hesitation at all. They wanted a baby girl. She didn't have legs, no big deal. And they raised me exactly the way they raised my 3 older brothers. Absolutely no limitations, no special treatment. My wheelchair was not in the house growing up.
It wasn't in the house?
No, not in the house at all. People find that very fascinating. To me, it was normal. But the only exception that was made was when I was really small, I couldn't reach the light switches. So my dad attached something to the light switch. But other than that, everything was normal. I had no special treatment. I went up and down the stairs just like everybody else in school.
So the house wasn't modified in any way?
Nothing.
Because, you know, the hard part is when some people have disabilities, they just feel like, oh my gosh, my whole life has to change and turn around, and I'm not sure how I'm going to have to cope with this. But you've been able to, you go anywhere and everywhere. In fact, you know, you're traveling all over the world. Tell us about some of your travels.
I've been so blessed. I'm so thankful for the opportunities I've had. I've literally got to travel the world doing what I love, which is performing, speaking. I do acrobatics and aerial performing, from silk fabric, trampoline work. I get to speak. I was just at an adoption conference in Cleveland. I spoke at a very big Special Olympics event in Anaheim, which was close to my heart. I'm speaking at the University of Hawaii next week, and I just got back from 3 weeks performing aerial silks in Dubai. So very, very thankful for all the travel.
Well, and I know, you know, Dominic Mosiano had come out last year, and, you know, what a lot of people didn't know is that you're kind of long-lost sisters. And, you know, there's this trajectory in your life that you both have had where, you know, she became an Olympic star, but you've also, you know, have done so much. And in the book that she wrote last year, it was talking so much about, like, the troubled childhood that she had. And, you know, people think of her as such a success, but in the end, you know, with your life, it seems like you've had a lot more fulfilling things happen to you.
Well, like I said, the biggest blessing from the beginning was that I was adopted. Obviously, my life could have went in so many other ways, whether I wasn't adopted or adopted into a different family. So it happened exactly the way it was meant to be, when it was meant to happen. And, you know, my family, the timing of meeting my sisters, all of that stuff just came exactly when it was supposed to, and gave me the confidence and the courage to be traveling the world, doing what I love, and having the high goals of, you know, writing my own book, being a TV personality, speaking, going to fitness events.
Nothing's going to stop you.
Nothing's going to stop me.
So tell us, Jennifer, you know, you were born without legs, so your whole life, you know, you don't know anything different. But there are plenty of people out there where their whole life changed. They might have gotten in an accident or some, you know, catastrophic event that changes them, and they either lose a limb or things like that. How can you inspire them to feel like, your life's not going to be over. You have hope. How do you inspire those people? Because I'm sure you can teach them a lot.
Well, hopefully that's the main goal. And again, you know, I wasn't born, or I didn't have any big traumatic incident, but I think the moral of what I've learned from my life so far is that it truly is all in your head. Your mind can absolutely transcend anything physical. And I think that's what I took away so much from what my parents taught me. You know, when people meet me, within 5 minutes they say they forget that I don't have legs. And I think what that is that if I'm okay with myself, if I'm comfortable, and I don't see myself as different or disabled, then that automatically puts you at ease, or you know, to be comfortable. And I think that is something that whether you were born in a certain way or had an accident, that's a lesson that people can apply to their life. So if you're okay with it, it's really what you're putting out is how you're going to get treated back. And I think that's something that maybe took me a little longer to realize. And again, something I'm thankful for my parents, absolutely.
Well, I know you don't want to say that you're an inspiration, but I think anyone who can wake up and have that feeling of feeling empowered and that there's nothing that's going to hold you back, you know, that is an inspiration. And those are the kinds of, you know, that's the way everyone should wake up, but we don't all wake up that way. So, you know, I hope you keep going out there and helping us how to, you know, kind of change our mindset.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for, you know, sharing your story with us. And you've got to see the videos out there of her because you are just amazing. You know, I've seen your tumbling mat, you know, the tumbling runs. It's just amazing.
Well, thank you.
So I hope to see you in person someday.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely. And we'll have more when we come back with Every Way Woman.